Hey guys, Peter Eisler here, and I want to bring you up to speed quick for you Expedition users on the tips that I've learned on how to play the game so we can do this SoCal 300. It's been a bit of a learning curve, learning all the buttons and stuff, just like when you learned Expedition. So this video is for somebody who either is going to play the game and doesn't use Expedition at all, in which case you're going to have to sit through some Expedition sailing software tips, but mostly for the people that are going to be using the extra features that we built in so that we can do our planning and routing on Expedition and make it feel a lot more like a real life race. So let's get down to it. Here is the where I would go. First, you've already logged in to RealSail.net. That should get us to playing now, and then it logs me in. You should have already registered here. I am currently, this is the race, the first race of the SoCal 300s. I'm currently in the middle of a race called the West Coast race. So I'm going to show you the tips and tricks in that race, and you can apply this anytime you're playing the game. So you click access, and boom, boom, boom. There I am, Mexicali Blues. Now you know my moniker. And zooming out, this is a race to Hawaii from Los Angeles. I started late, so these guys got a few days head start or something like that, but I wanted to practice this. In the lower left here, we have the compass rose, which has a lot of the just basic simple controls we can use to steer the boat. Our boat is right here. It's also shown by this arrow right there. It's pointing that way. Everything's in true, so you change Expedition to true. I have show the polars on, which shows the polars for the different sails. I'm not concerned with changing sails. I'm just in auto sail mode. But if we zoom in enough, we can see the icon of the boat and where it's headed right now. And we can change the boat's course. Watch this. And right now I have the present wind, the wind at 0 hour, which is now displayed, which is a good thing to do. And so this area here will be operating in, and also the area settings and some of these buttons. So let's look at settings first and see how I have my settings set up. I currently am on auto sail. I mean, I don't want to, it's no fun changing sails and stuff. Just let the polar choose the right one. I'm assuming that the crew is putting up the right sails. View follow ease, this is just something if you want to see other people in the race, and the more you drag it to the right, the more boats you see. There's not many boats in this race. I think so that's good. Show the boats' names. Up to you, okay? The ruler, the scale, the zoom controls, all good. This is all on by default. 2D boats I like better than boats that look like that. I may have to click yes. I have to save that, but we'll keep, 2D boats. There, the boats look like this. I like this. Show the polars. Yes, please. You see the polars disappeared and now they appear in this box. I don't know, maybe you don't need to see that because the polars are displayed down here. Up to you. Show VMG, definitely have this button toggled. If you don't, you won't see VMG down at the bottom here, which is really important. Show the time. I think it's to me, they already are showing the time of the last ping here, so that's good enough for me. The windy map, I don't need that. The pressure map, I've got the basic weather model. Spots, no idea what any of this stuff is. The notation for decimal meters and seconds. See here they go to decimal degrees. I think you're going to make it'll be easier. I like it on decimal degrees, minutes. And I wish it was decimal minutes, but it's in seconds, and we can convert that in Expedition. So here's sort of the boat's speedometer, what the present wind is, which we can see from the icon. And now, as you notice, as I move my mouse around, look up in the upper left corner here. It gives me the latitude and longitude of the cursor and the wind speed. And it will also give me the distance and the bearing to this cursor, which will be helpful when we're setting marks. Now this dumb control here, we can change the boat's heading. I'm on basically a beam reach right now. I could turn down and go down here, head down a few degrees. I was sailing at a wind angle of 101, or maybe it just became 101. Got to click that green thing to go to I'm going to go back to 250, which was sort of my ideal heading that I was at. Plus, there, I'm right at 250. Again, this is all in true. So in Expedition, we got to set up in true. And because we have the show VMG save settings here, we have a VMG button right here. So close that for now. And I'll show you how to get the data into Expedition. So click that button, Embedded Router, External, and you're going to want this number right here, the TCP port. Now this is for me, so don't use this number. This is for me in this race. You will have a unique one for you in the race you're doing. This server name remains the same all the time. It's the IP address. So now let's switch to Expedition and go to Instruments. And in the network setting, I type RealSail game. You set up your instruments to be NEMA 183. You set up the type of connection to be TCP client. Not going to change that, but you just drop down list. Then you enter the IP address that we saw. Boom, right there. 35.209.17.88. That's the same for every race you ever do with them. And then the port number. And that, as I said, changes all the time. Once you've entered all that, click reconnect. You want to see raw data, and it takes about I don't know, a minute or two for it to start to populate. I'm already rolling, so hopefully it hasn't lost anything. But that is sending a ping over the internet into Expedition, and the good news is there's my boat. Boat went away because I reconnected. Let's open our number boxes here, and I'd suggest creating a number box that looks like this. True and angle, cog, SOG. There's the boat again, and everything came in. So I'll bet you now if we went to Instruments and Raw Data, we might, oh, there it is. A ping every minute or so. That's just to double check to make sure you're connected okay, but to me this is okay, and I actually have strip charts set up too, so I can see true in speed, true in direction, a few of the other things that come in. Not a lot of data comes in, but we've got wind speed, we've got wind angle, heading and speed are cog and SOG. So you need to change that in Expedition, and you need to be in true. How do we do that? Go to the hamburger in the upper left and change your settings. Drag it up. Man, Nick's got a lot of settings. System. We are not in magnetic mode. I always operate on a boat in magnetic mode, but here I have to set it up like so. And then down here, I'm tick these boxes, which I hardly ever do on a real boat. Use SOG as boat speed and use cog as heading. Okay, and that will populate that and make it so your boat's pointed the right direction. I think that's all we need to do in Expedition completely, except we want to go and put the polar of the boat that we're racing in. And you should have downloaded the nav polar at 100% in from the RealSail game for the race. I think I suggested we all use the mod 70 for the practice races in SoCal 300. Now Expedition's rolling. It took less than a couple minutes. The number boxes will stay the same, but if look at this: 82 true wind angle, 18.3 wind speed, 12.45 SOG, and if I go here and open this, we can see the 18.3 wind speed, 82 true wind angle, 12.56. So it very much matches this. The ping that you see here very much matches what we see in Expedition. It's exactly the same. If we change our heading, the heading will change in Expedition. It takes about a minute or so to do. Okay, so we're set up, And at the start of the race, let's say we just want to sail the straight line distance to Hawaii. I guess what we could do is just hover here and go to the finish line. There's the finish line there. That's populated by the race itself. You don't have to worry about that. And there's some gates. And look in the there on the oh, he's got the bearing wrong. Minus 99.2. A little bit of an error there, but it probably means that it's 270 minus 261 or so is the bearing true. That goes straight to Hawaii. I think he's going to change it, Pablo, who runs RealSail, to be a great circle route, because this is really a Mercator chart, so they should show the great circles, the shortest distance. So if I just wanted to sail straight at the finish line, I could, there's no locks anywhere, so I could just drag this up to 260. Almost there, I did it. And then click the green button, and then the boat's headed in the straight course. So that'd be sort of the way a beginner would do this race that we're doing in the Southern Cal. Just get the boat pointed in the direction of the next mark. Now the problem is, what if it's straight upwind? Well, that's where you, when you're doing your weather routing, are going to have a better idea of what the weather is going to be at the start and select your course. Now we've added some cool tools here in the game, and let's show it to you. One of them is this button right here, Max VMG. It's this lock next to the VMG. Click it, and it opens the sailing helpers. And we can go VMG mode. And if we toggle that on, you can see that this is locked. We can't change anything. This is locked. And the boat has turned up, because we're sailing 70 true wind angle, it's turned up onto the upwind polar angle, which is, for this particular boat, very wide, 54 wind angle. So it's just sailing VMG. If I wanted to tack, I could just go boom. And there, the boat just tacked, but it's sailing on its polars. That's VMG mode. In the ocean, a lot of times we sail hot VMG mode. And I created these tools more for Transpac, but then the coastal game. And hot VMG mode is 3 degrees faster than VMG. So if the wind speed is 18.3, let's say we're sailing at 56, let's go to the polars here, and we do that by sliding up a lot of buttons, show the polars. What do we say, 18.3, and the speed is 9.09. So that's the upwind VMG target, 3 degrees wider than the upwind VMG target of the boat. And this white, I guess, is the jib, and this is the Genoa and spinnaker, and this is the Genoa. But again, we're in the auto sail trim mode. But you can come into this polar page and actually do some what ifs, like say, hey, what if the wind's down to 12 knots? I did this in a game, and the wind angle is 5. How fast would we be going? And boom, it shows. So back up here, click anywhere off of this, it's gone again. We're back in settings. So we're going the wrong way. Let's get back going the right way. And we don't want to sail upwind because the destination is down over here. So let's turn the boat down, but we can't do it because it's locked. The only way to get unlocked so you have control this way, if you want to steer by compass, is to click this green thing. That opens the Pro Sailing Helpers, which I think you can also get to right, maybe in routing, no. Show polars, no. There is a way to get to it, but the fastest way that I know of is right here. Turn hot VMG mode, 2 degrees faster upwind, and then go down. Interestingly, if we were sailing down here, let's turn the boat so we're sailing, look at the wind barb right here of the present wind, We're sailing now at a wind angle of 115. If we go to VMG now, watch what happens. The boat turns down. It'll take about a second or a few seconds for the course to turn down, but it goes to 151 true wind angle, which is the polar for this boat. There we go. At 1. So if you just want to leave your boat and go away for a few hours and just want it to VMG, this is a good thing to do. Usually in the ocean, you're going the right way, so you sail hot VMG. Look at that, it went up to 149 degrees, a couple degrees hotter. And then this drawing here is just showing you, based on the current grid file that they have in the game, they update it every 6 hours, I think, the GFS model. It'll show where the boat will be sailing as the wind changes over those 24 hours. But of course, the weather model will update. We do not want to be sailing away from the mark, guys. We're going the wrong way. Turn this off and get back control again, we got to hit the lock, toggle this off so nothing's toggled on, and boom, we can point it back at 250. I think I said I wanted the right course to be. Oops, didn't go. And then green checkbox. All right, there's controlling the boat. Now, let's say you've done a routing and expedition. Yeah, see, the boat hasn't come back on the course yet, but let's do a optimal routing. I think I've got a grid file in here for the race. There we go. So let's optimize. And the cool thing is we can optimize from now. So from our current position in time, okay, medium resolution, don't motor. And then so this is very much like like a real race, and then we have to make the active mark be the finish line. So I just hit the right arrow yet, and now the active mark is Hawaii. And now if I do a routing, I've got a polar in there which is the boat that I'm currently playing with, a Mocha, and just go routing. I'm not teaching how to route here, but let's say there's the router. It's saying, hey, atypical race, we're just going to sail pretty straight right here on a heading. Oh, this is for 24 hours, but on a heading of 256 down here. Look at the hand is there. So I could simply just put like 24 hours out. This is where we're going to be in 24 hours. That's boat's ripping. So if I wanted to just hedge towards a routing of 256, go back to the game, go into VMC mode. Well, two ways to do it. One is to go into VMC mode and then turn this little circle here until it's green. And what do we say? We said 256. Oops, he's got his bearing wrong. 256 is minus, it's about here. And that's probably more than 24 hours. So there is the waypoint. If I click on the chart here, but I can drag that around. And now in VMC mode, the router will always VMC towards the mark. Now, of course, you don't want to get to this point, but when you're far away, like 24 or 36 hours, that's a great thing to tell the crew if you're not sure how the conditions are going to be. And of course, here in this race, the weather is known and gets updated. But I like to play it as if I don't know it, as if it's a real thing. So that's one way to set the course. That will lock everything so that you can't change because the VMC mode is toggled. That's one way to do it. You're VMCing towards a single mark. Turn that off. We're back to, it's going to the direction that it was heading in VMC mode. Let's get it back to 251. Boom. I could also set some waypoints. Let's say I did a routing and expedition and there were some inflections here, like a jibe or a tack. There's going to be some turns in the race in the 600, so you're going to have to do it. Then I could go in here and create a route, set waypoints. And I can just create waypoints here on the chart, click on the map to define the route. And let's say we want to go here, and then we're going to jibe and go over here. And we're going to go over here. Then click this last one again, and that should turn everything off. And now look at this. It tells me what the true wind angle is on each of these. It's not showing what the true wind angle is here, but I was doing the game before. Maybe it doesn't look out far enough ahead, and I'm more. Yeah, there it is. Inside 24 hours, it all of a sudden will tell us. So I'm just dragging these waypoints. So in the case of the 600, you may use this tool a little bit, and it knows, let's get inside of 24 hours, and it'll say the true wind angle. And there you can see, 168, that's too deep. But I know the polar is, 151 or something. And what will the wind be? This is 18 hours from now. So if I say, what's the wind in 18 hours from now? Boom, there it is there. And in the upper left there, it says the wind is 11.9 knots. So I could go to the polars here, show polars, and say in 11.9 knots, it's close enough to 12, isn't it? Boom. And what is the VMG point? And there's the VMG point. They even have a dot on it right there. Let's hover over it. It comes good. 147 is the target downwind angle for this polar that the game's playing in 12 knots. So back to the game. Close settings. Once I go to this mark here, and let's say I want a VMG from here, I'm going to pull this up until it's at least 147, if not hotter than that, or 146. So now I know throughout this forward progress the wind angle will be 146. And then let's say we still want to keep VMGing down here. You could adjust your course like this manually after you've done the routing in the game. So that'll be the way to play the 300 where there are course changes. But here we're just going to Hawaii, so that VMG mode and VMC mode, or just setting a compass course will be good. So to get rid of the locks now, it's not doing anything here. It's not doing anything here. I'm stuck. The way to get unstuck is to go back to that waypoints button and click reset waypoints. Boom. And now, let's see, everything's unlocked again. A lot to learn, but it's a lot of fun. Let's get the boat pointed back up on course. I'm still in a race here. My competitors probably are online wondering what I'm doing. But it'll be really fun to do the 300. And meanwhile, I'm following along all the time in Expedition. I won't just download the GFS file. I'll download, the HRR and some other stuff too, and practice like I am racing the boat. So that's the cool thing of what RealSail has done for us here, is they've given us sort of real life ability to do training sessions with race data in Expedition. So to me, it's not about winning the game. It's about practicing my navigator skills. Like when I'm a navigator, sometimes I say, hey, the optimum, I want you to just sail the optimum VMC on a heading of 250 for the next 4 hours. I'm going to go down and take a nap. And if the wind goes right of 30, wake me up. If the wind goes left of 10, wake me up. And this is the sort of practice that I like doing, and it seems a lot more realistic rather than just routing between marks, but you actually have a live boat on there. So I hope you enjoy this practice. And for those of you that aren't doing the Transpac, the big deal is RealSail sponsoring the Transpac, one of the sponsors, and they're going to run a free race during Transpac in July. But this is I'm going to be using this tool for doing some training between now and then. Thanks for watching. See you.